Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Zimbabweans. Thank you so much for joining us. You are tuned in to your favorite program, Padare na Mambo Svosve. We are live here on Zim I. We are also live on Change Radio YouTube, Change Radio Facebook, and Change Radio, the radio itself. We will be distributing the link to those that want to listen on Change Radio. I know the link is being distributed right now. Yes, we are discussing a very important topic here. Important, but also very sad. Cyber bullying. I don't know if we should just call it cyber bullying only, because I know in some places they call it cyber harassment, also known as online bullying. But I would want also to add in another word there and call it cyber persecution, because that's what we are seeing. This is something that is normally done by children, by teenagers. It's normally common within teenagers. But in Zimbabwe, it's common everywhere. It's happening everywhere. But first of all, let's look at how we understand cyberbullying. What is it? What is cyber harassment? What is online bullying? Some people would want to call it the use of electronic media. People that use electronic communication or electronic media to bully other people, using messages of an intimidating or threatening nature. But I would want to go further on that definition, not only to talk about intimidating or threatening. I also want to add, in the context of what is happening in Zimbabwe, in the context of what we all know, that it can also be, information that is fabricated, information that is, of falsehoods or mechanized information. People just that come up with information that may be unsubstantiated, information that may not be necessarily true, and they take it on social media. They use it against certain individuals, certain people. I'm sure some of us here identify with all that, because we have seen that happening. Some has even happened to us. There are people that are here who may have been subjected to that kind of cyberbullying. I think those who are on social media, you know what's going on with the social lives. maititi and evidence, taking each other to the police, making people get arrested, for what reason? But all that is happening on social media, and it would have emanated on social media. And when that happens, it becomes a cyberbullying. It becomes a cyber persecution. I think in politics, we can just call it a cyber persecution. Some people that take advantage of their positions, that may take advantage of where they are, that they occupy a bigger space on social media, and they use that. Some even own media houses, and they use that against certain individuals. We want to discuss this issue, and to help me, unpack this discussion, we have Dr. Ranga, a medical doctor, and we have Barbara Tanyanyiwa Gwangwara, an activist, a women's rights activist, and would want to hear what she thinks as a women's rights activist. And will also be joined shortly by Advocate Masie, popularly known as Lawyer Radzara, so that he can come in on the legal side. And we also have Dr. Amai chipping in, talking about mental health, because that's her specialty, Dr. Gwekwerere. She won't be able to join us, but she has sent in something that we are going to play here. Let me welcome Dr. Ranga, whom I'm seeing there. Dr. Ranga, welcome to the program. Please take a few minutes to greet our viewers and listeners.
Thank you so much, Chief, and hello, viewers. Hello, my sister Barbara, and the other panelist, Mr. Masie, also Dr. Gwekwerere. Thank you. I look forward to a very critical program. Of course, I'm speaking as a physician here, and what it means medically when people are cyberbullied, and what it means for those who are cyberbullying or using social media to threaten, to persecute other people, to shame other people, which are things which are unacceptable. But anyway, I look forward to this discussion. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Ranga. Over to you, my sister Barbara.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Chief Svosve. Hello, Dr. Ranga, how are you? And our viewers and listeners, lingabe lichona njani, mthwakazi omuhle, emagumini amane omhlaba lapho engabe likhona. Yebo, sesiphendukele njalo uhlelo lwethu lanamhla Padare, na Mambo Svosve edale. Le nduna yakoSvosve phela lami luhamba loBabs, namhla sile idale lethu linkulu kakhulu, namhla sile ingcitshi abazasincedisa ukuthi sihlaziye indaba le isilayo esegudwini ethiwa yi-cyber bullying, kumbe esithi yikuhlukuluzwa kwasebulenjini. Cyber bullying, ukuhlukuluzwa kwasebulenjini. Unoyiziwa here eNdebele yichief, ebulenjini wangikwatsho iziwa here ukuthi
Madzika.
Yes, so namhla sixoxa ngakhona lokhu ukuhlukuluzwa kwabantu nje. Khathesi sibona ukuthi abantu abaningi sesisebenzisa lekuthiwa yi-social media, engabe i-social media, i-Facebook, WhatsApp, i-Twitter, kunengi esingabe sikusebenzisa. Ngakho namhla sikhangeleke ukuthi abantu sebesebenzisa ubulembu ukuthi bachothoze kumbe bayelule abanye abantu, kumbe esingakuthi ukudenigrate kumbe ukukhitshwa ubuntu bakho, kumbe ukuchaywa egcekeni ngezinto eziyabe zingamanga. Isikhathi esiningi into lezi ziyabe zingamanga, kuyabe kungasikho qiniso, besenzela nje ukuthi bakwephule ukuthi uphenduke ube nxa kade ngumuntu lwana okhuluma kakhulu, bayakusebenzisa lokhu ukuthi bakuvale ukuthi ungabi usakhuluma. So namhla ke sizabe sixoxa sibili. Ngibona namhla kuzabe kunzima ngoba silabantu abazasincedisa abachiyetshiyeneyo. Silabezemthethwandaba ama-lawyers, silodokotela, ababona ngeze-mental health bakhona lapha. So asihlaleni silalele uhlelo lwethu lanamhla. Thank you so much, Chief Joshua.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Barbara. Advocate Masie, we welcome you to the program. Please take a few minutes to greet our viewers and listeners and just say a few words on cyberbullying. I don't know if you want to call it cyberbullying or cyber harassment or cyber persecution or just online bullying.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chief, for inviting me to this very important, discussion on cyberbullying. My name is Kennedy Masie. I'm a human rights lawyer, and cyberbullying is something that we've seen world over happening, and it's quite sad that of late we're seeing it in Zimbabwe happening to mostly people who speak out against certain elements within our society. And it's quite sad that mainly if you look at probably the statistics, we see that women are usually on the receiving end of that bullying, especially if they hold office or they anticipate to hold office or they aspire to hold office. And you also see that those who be initiating that bullying and this unpleasant way of things are mostly men, and not just ordinary men, but also men in politics. So it's quite sad that we see this happening, and we see this happening at the time that you think that our society or our country is moving towards respecting women's rights and also respecting certain appreciation of freedom of expression and empowerment of women in politics. So it's quite sad that of late this has escalated in our country, Zimbabwe, and I hope to learn more from the effects from the other panelists on the effects of this cyberbullying on other elements, which of course might not be law related, but psychologically or societal related. So thank you, Chief, for bringing me to this platform, and I hope to contribute what I can in terms of the legality of cyberbullying in Zimbabwe.
Okay, thank you very much, Advocate Masie, for that. Dr. Ranga, yes, I have already greeted our viewers. I just want to hear your thoughts on this issue. I know here in the Western world, in America, they even have movies that they've created, to bring awareness to cyberbullying or cyber harassment. But of course, in Africa, in particular in Zimbabwe, we were not very aware of this big animal in the house. But now it has become prevalent. Now we are seeing some people taking advantage of what they have, the space that they have, and using it to attack other people. And like Advocate Masie said, especially the women. The history of our women in Zimbabwe. They are not that empowered, as you see. If you look at the history of media in Zimbabwe, you will see that most of the media houses are owned by men. Look at all the media houses. Most of them, 90% of them, are managed by men. And then we see certain individuals, not all of them, taking advantage of that superiority to attack women. What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you very much, Chief. And I acknowledge these important contributions by my brother Masie and sister Barbara. My thoughts are that social media is here to stay, and it gives everybody access online, and it gives access to everyone. And for those who have more power, like what we call the fourth estate, like journalists, sometimes they find relevance by doing outrageous things that could be detrimental to personal lives, people's privacy, and things like that. So, social media is a good way for us to communicate across the board, and it's very critical for people to have access to information. So in the villages today, people can go on Facebook, they can go on WhatsApp, they can go on Snapchat and all these other media, which has made it easy for us to reach out everybody. And that's a positive. The downside, which is what you were referencing, Chief, is that there are people who are going to abuse any kind of media, whether it's social media, whether it's email, whether it's traditional media houses, for selfish reasons that can be detrimental to other people. We have to be responsible. The thing is that, people can now hide behind the keyboard, and we have heard of keyboard warriors, right? We have these people who feel like if I am behind the keyboard, I don't know you, so I can say anything I want to anybody, and we all feel empowered. Today, I can say anything I want to the president, and I can say anything I want to journalists or these prominent, public figures. But, if you are one such person, we should always be responsible. Imagine what life was like 20 years ago before we had social media. You wouldn't just pick up the phone and insult somebody, or you wouldn't just go on a media house like ZBC and just start attacking someone without a basis. So it's very unfortunate that there are people today who feel that the keyboard is their access to then abuse other people. Sometimes they blackmail people to say, I do have private information on you and I threaten to make it public so that I can silence you. Some of that is actually illegal. And I think that's where we need reasonable media reforms, legal reforms that would make sure that individuals and personalities are protected. At the same time, we allow access to public information. So I think medically it has an impact. This is doesn't come
So
risk
before
free.
you go on the effects, because I really want you to dwell more on that. Barbara, as a woman activist, how do you feel? And maybe you've also become, victim or made a victim to these men bullies. How do you feel when that happens to another woman? And what do you think? We should do.
Yes, thank you so much, Chief. I actually feel denigrated, dehumanized, reduced, and I feel my dignity has been stripped out. So when that happens to another woman, I just feel as if it's me who is being bullied, just like that. Especially in politics, cyberbullying is so rife, and women. Like Advocate Masie said, kuti, women are the most that are at the receiving end, because men will be trying to push away women, especially when they see kuti, we've got capacity, Chief. They would want to push you out, and the men will also use other women to dehumanize you. And it's unfortunate that these other women, they won't be knowing that what they are doing is bad, because one kwachitofunga kuti ndo story right, when it's very wrong. So women that are powerful in politics, they found themselves as victims of this cyberbullying, because the men, these powerful men, will be trying to silence these women, because culturally, women are viewed as weaker vessels. They are viewed as people of lesser beings. We are viewed as we can't operate, or we can't function without men. A woman akabudirira, they would want to know who is the man who is behind her, or who is the man who is beside her. Most people don't think women can make it on their own. They will always want to attach a male figure to every success, women success, which is very wrong, and it's disheartening at the same time. I feel the heat as well, and that has happened also to me. And it's this cause for awareness, Chief, especially when we are going towards elections. We are going to see more of these bashings, and the most unfortunate part of it, some men will be doing it not knowing that they are destroying these women mentally and psychologically. This is the reason why most women do not participate in politics, or even in decision-making positions, because they fear this bashing, they fear this dehumanizing, because once you are up there, people would then start saying, you got the position because of you slept with someone big, so that's why you got this position. They don't think iwewe une capacity. So I can just give an example of what has been happening. We all know this story of our spokesperson. She is a powerful woman, and what's happening to her, I'm not even surprised, Chief. I'm not even surprised. These people, they know that she is powerful, and they are seeing kuti, if we have someone like her, 2023, come 2023, we are going to sweep away ZANU-PF. So it's a way, it's a strategy, in actual fact, that ZANU-PF can also use to destroy the opposition.
Wow, powerful. There. Coming to you, Advocate Masie, I want to talk to you as a human rights defender, maybe more as a human rights defender than as a lawyer. How do you take this if you see some men like Leader Barbara was saying here, that they take advantage of what they have and the space that they occupy in society, in media, and everywhere, and they use that to attack an innocent person, maybe to settle personal scores, or for political gains, or for political mileage? Or is it a ZANU-PF strategy, like Barbara is saying, that we end up having people that are powerful, people that are contributing so much to the struggle, being targeted, so that at the end of the day, they may even quit. There are some people that have quit because they've been subjected to these unsubstantiated attacks.
Yes, thank you, Chief, for that question. Yes, as a human rights defender, it's something that I feel that we are making several steps back in terms of progress that is trying to be achieved when it comes to the women's rights, and also it's something that it's very sad in that we constantly bring the issue of what can I call this? Constantly bring the issue of the progressiveness of human rights into question again. And you see, one other thing that is so sad again is that most of the people who perpetrate or who do this are those people that you would think probably should be the champions for human rights, should be the champions for freedom of expression, and should be the champions for for empowerment. These are some of them are potentially future leaders, some of them are actually leaders. So it's something that is very sad, in that you then bring into question the whole quality of leadership that would be existing at that particular point in time. But talking to what has been happening lately in Zimbabwe. You see, this cyberbullying, especially targeting women, has not started now. This has been ongoing, and this basically, you can probably judge or break it down to the fact that us as Africans or as African Zimbabweans, we basically are constructed in such a way that our society is more like a patriarchy, and there's still the major difference between the roles that men have and the roles that women have. And there are some men who are still stuck in the past, that they feel that when a woman is independent, when someone appears strong, especially when you look at the fears of politics, some men feel that they themselves are weak, but that is not the case. And now, when they feel that way, this is how then they react in such a way that they use their archaic means or their archaic ways of using sexuality in trying to denigrate or demean certain women or women, because they know that that is the old way or old trick of getting this patriarchal society that we have, that does not basically respect women, into believing that the person or the woman who's there in a powerful position, who's independent, is basically not fit to be there in terms of societal levels or societal appreciation and so forth. So I think it's somehow more also related to how we as probably Africans or Zimbabweans are constructed in terms of the society. But well, that argument might be basically far-fetched, though, but this is the reality that we have. But now, coming to the issue of what's happening right now, you can see that when probably zooming in to women in politics, we can probably you can actually see that this type of attack on women is not something that you can say that is natural. It's not natural. If you look at it, let's say, if you look at leader Barbara talked about Advocate Mahere's attack and the other women's attack. This is not natural. Like, yeah, us as Zimbabweans, that's how we're constructed. It's somehow engineered, and it's engineered in such a way that ZANU-PF does not want to see strong women. We have seen what it has done to its own women in its own political party. So this is not something that is, you can say, natural. It's something that is structured. It's something that is engineered. And it's something that you can see the traits of not respecting not just women's rights, but ordinary rights in all. So, Chief, as a human rights advocate, this is my submission, that sometimes we need to introspect, look back, and see how this is happening and how we can stop this from happening in the future. Because these attacks that we're seeing of late, these are constructed, they're engineered, and they are meant to go for strong women, as Leader Barbara said, as we get into elections. So that is what I can say for now.
There we go. I was talking on mute. Yes, thank you very much, Advocate Masie, for that. Dr. Ranga, I know you want to go, but hey, let me take advantage here for a few seconds. Nibokwazisa mwene wazvo ndiri kungoona apo mwene wazvo Veronica Dzokora, my very own sister, ndiri kuona vari kunetsana namukanya Mr. Makwarimba ndimukanya futi baba vari kumarana pa program patiri pano. And to those that are just joining us, we are discussing a very topical issue here, the issue of cyberbullying. And we have said that you can call it cyberbullying, you can call it cyber harassment, You can also call it online bullying. I would want to call it cyber persecution, because we are seeing a lot of people in Zimbabwe being persecuted, being taken advantage of because of maybe their political positions and because of the amount of power and ability that they have in as far as our fourth Chimurenga is concerned. But before we go into what all these can do to our struggle, our fourth Chimurenga, I want to just bring in Dr. Ranga so that he talk about the effects on on the person, health wise. How does that affect a person when you're continually being bashed on social media? Do you continue to perform at the level that you're supposed to perform, or instead of focusing on the struggle, instead of focusing on things that matter, you are now busy mentally and physically focusing on other things? Dr. Ranga.
Thank you very much, Chief. It's very exciting to see your sister out there waging this online war.
Yes.
I like it.
First.
Well, what I mean by that is it's okay for us to vigorously disagree on policy, on the way forward when it comes to matters of national interest or community interest. We're going to disagree. And it's great that we have these platforms for everybody to air their view. The one time I block anybody, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, wherever, is when they are abusive. And I've had to do that a couple of times when people start insulting me, even with no basis. That's the time I say, listen, go get your act together when you're sober, when you have washed your mouth online, with soap. Then we can talk again. It's okay for us to disagree, but when someone becomes abusive, I don't see the need for further engagement with those people. And that's true in real life, because some people treat online activity as something out of this world. That's why they feel encouraged that they can just post threats and insults. That's uncalled for. So mentally, you do better when you get rid of bullies or you stand up to them. But sometimes they want you to exhaust your energy fighting them online. I find that it's better to say to them, go calm down. When you're calm down, we can talk again. It's good for my mental health. And I think it's also true for anybody else that may be listening. You don't need to entertain bullies. It's okay for us to stand here and argue over issues about our situation in Zimbabwe. What I'm glad about Advocate Mahere is she can stand for herself. Those men who try to demean her, it just shows how small they are, how little. That's what that means. And I have no doubt that Advocate Mahere can stand up there any day and stand for herself. And I hope we use her example to say that bullies don't think that that's the way for us to get out of politics or to stop participating in matters of interest to us and to our neighbors, our families. So I am very confident that she will do just that. And I hope the people who have been abusive, who have been blackmailing her, just do the right thing. They back off and become normal. You don't say you're a journalist, so you have a right to be exposing or so-called exposing people and so forth. So we need to draw a line in the sand against those kind of activities because it affects everybody. I mean, I know we can dwell here on how it affects people psychologically. Anybody who has had a threat of blackmail here for us as males and females alike, you know what it's like when you don't know, oh my God, they might post me naked taking a shower. And as much as I may not care, I do have a family who might care. Some of these people have little kids who will be seeing their parent being harassed online and being threatened the way that Advocate Mahere is being threatened. So we need to be very careful, especially those who call themselves journalists. Be responsible. it's not fair, for instance, for me to say, oh, I disagree with Sister Barbara, so I'm going to find where her family lives, where her kids live, and start targeting them. Part of journalism is being able to draw the line, to be able to know where to stop. Because these things have consequences. It's not just about the person you are targeting, it's about the whole community, the whole society, the family, the friends. Maybe that's the intended result for those who want to blackmail people like our national spokesperson. But I have news for them. If you saw just how much social media was lit with, we're going to stand with Advocate Mahere. Citizens came to Advocate Mahere's defense, and that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be like, oh my God, she must have done something, so she deserves this, or this other person is being persecuted because they deserve this. Because mentally, it's destructive. Any man or woman who thinks that's a good strategy, medically, you have a problem. It's not normal. Like I said, it's okay for us to have a healthy, very vigorous debate on any issue. And when we do that, we use our name, we publicly go out there, and I am surprised that there are journalists who even stick their name to some kind of blackmailing like they are doing. So I know that I'm going all over the place here. I didn't want to dwell on some of the effects. We all know them. When you live in constant fear, I don't know what's coming. I don't know what my kids are gonna hear online. I don't know this. And a lot of that is just nonsense, pure nonsense that someone is using. So unfortunately, it no longer works. We just have to just try other strategies to win any political battles. Thank you so much, Chief.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. That's actually a powerful submission right there. But right now, before I go to Barbara, I want to play the devil's advocate here. I know many women have been targeted. We know that even our Vice President, Lynette Karenyi Kore, people have posted a number of things that they've said. She is the one who was saying those. They would just create something. Then they would attribute it to Vice President Kore, and in those submissions or posts, you hear, sexist statements, being accused of going out with a ZANU-PF person, and things like that. We have, people like Joanna Mamombe that have been accused of a number of falsehoods that cannot be substantiated. Cecilia Chimbiri and many others. But also on the men, we have seen ZANU-PF weaponizing social media as well, just throwing something on social media. Tendai Biti, Honorable Tendai Biti, he has been accused of corrupt or being corrupt way back when he was in unit government. And you just see a big story being thrown in there. No evidence whatsoever. And it's just thrown, and we have seen Job Scala. He has been, in the middle of a lot of falsehoods, being accused of going out with that woman and that woman, a lot of things. And you look at these people; these are, very important people in our struggle, critical people that get attacked at a critical stage. And I mean, sometimes people say you don't have to talk about yourself. Even myself, I've been a victim of a falsehood. And I can tell you how much it affects you mentally and even your health. There were times when you end up in an emergency, simply because you're trying to deal with this issue. And you know that it's lies, but it does affect. That's that's what I'm trying to point out here. That whether it's lies or not, it still affects you. So I understand. I know what Leader Mayer is going through, because you know that it's falsehood. But at the end of the day, people are just using it against you. Barbara, do you think that ZANU-PF are trying to attack or use this against people that are critical in this struggle to derail our fourth Chimurenga? Do you think this is a strategy that is being used against the main opposition. Because if you see the position that Advocate Mahere, occupies, and the impact that she has made ever since she came in, ZANU-PF iri kutadza kurara because they can't deal with her. They can't. Do you think this is a political strategy by ZANU-PF?
Oh, yes, exactly, Chief. It is a strategy. And I think I've already mentioned this before, that it is a strategy. Remember, CCC does not have structures. And we have key people that are very important to CCC. And Mahere happens to be one of them. So, the reason why they continued to say CCC must have Congress, must have structures, is because they wanted to infiltrate. Now there's nothing to infiltrate, Chief. Now they're now bashing Mahere. They want to break her because they know that she's the main actor in the struggle. Don't forget that even they even did that to President Chamisa. Remember when they falsely said he wanted to rape a woman in front of his house? Imagine. But we know this, Chief, that these people, they are so cunning, they can do anything. And I think Fadzi has got a right to do whatever she likes with her body. No one should tell her how to use her body. And what she does in privacy, in private, it should not be a thing of a public debate or consumption. She has a private life, Chief. Hatifani kumuudza kuti anofanira kuita sei mwiri wake.
What should we do, Barbara? What should we do against this strategy? Because we also want solutions to this. What do we do? How do we respond to this strategy by ZANU-PF?
I think what the citizens have been doing and are still doing is enough, because we stood by Fadzi. And I didn't even see the CCC, the citizens talking bad about her. The citizens were behind her because we know she's instrumental. She is our warrior. We know she's delivering the goods, and we know she's making ZANU-PF, she's giving ZANU-PF sleepless nights, Chief. We know she's a hard worker. I personally like Fadzi. I love her. In fact, I'm very proud of her. She being a woman, I'm very proud of her to say the way she's doing her work, she's a hard worker. She's someone anoita basa nemazo, and we are proud as women. And on behalf of all the women in the CCC, we are backing her. We are saying kuti tinofa naye. If you anzi vadena Fadzi, vadena mudzimai wese, she's a woman. We have to be in solidarity with her. They cannot just attack her just like that, and we cannot watch. This is what kills us. Even I know some women would quickly say, hey, we don't even have to buy into that. There are more stories that will come, Chief, towards 2023. Some men are trying to block women, even within the CCC. We are going to see it, and we are not going to keep quiet because it's being done internally. I'm just warning men that are going to do this. We are not going to keep quiet. We know that this is the strategy that men use when they want to destroy women, or when they want to block women. We are not going to keep quiet, Chief.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. Dr. Ranga, I know you can say your last words because you told me that you won't be long here. You can just say your last words here, and maybe a few words for people like Edmond Kudzai, for Kokorigo. How would you what would you say to someone like him, especially now, looking at the context of where we are going? Should we be fighting each other instead of fighting the bigger enemy that is ZANU-PF? Should we be sharpening our knives and our axes and our spears against people that are leading in this struggle, for things like that, trivial things like that, when we have ZANU-PF that is destroying the country, ZANU-PF that is looting millions, if not billions of dollars. We have Emerson Mnangagwa's sons that are driving million-dollar cars, and we have the whole economy being put on in the hands of one person or a few people that are related to Emerson Mnangagwa. And we have all this poverty, we have all this suffering. Should we really be talking about people's personal issues and entertaining people like Edmund Kudzai attacking someone who is leading the struggle of Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much, Chief. I wish I could stay longer. This is a very important discussion. And I mean, we need to be talking about these issues. If I were to give some unsolicited advice to my brother Kudzai, I would say that we are all Zimbabweans. First, like you pointed out, we have so many national issues that we need to address, like our currency, the inflation rate, having a government that works for the people, for the ordinary people, you and me. Before we preoccupy ourselves with our sisters and denigrating them or threatening them, we would rather put that energy for the good. He is a journalist. He has some platforms like Kukurigo, which I'm advertising now, apparently, and it's important for national discourse. My suggestion or my entry to him is, please, let's use those platforms for the good to develop our country, to make it better. I know he raised the issue that, well, public figures must be held to scrutiny. Fair enough. I think every one of us should stand public scrutiny. Let's do it in a responsible way. I know he brought up the fact that VP Mohadi, ended up resigning because of these sex scandals.
We know that Mohadi did not resign because of that. We know, that was, a ZANU-PF strategy. So
it's a hatchet job of some
yeah.
kind, but he was trying to have some moral equivalence between Advocate Mahere and retired or resigned VP Mohadi. Those are separate issues. And for the record, Fadzi is not abusing public office for personal aggrandizement. She may be making choices. We may agree with some of them. We may disagree with some of them. I don't really know the details. He probably knows the details. I don't. I hope he does. Because if this is just coming from nowhere, please, my brother, let's focus on national development. Let's focus on issues that are going to make Zimbabwe a better country, not focus on targeting our sisters who are doing their best to try to have a better country that will work better for all Zimbabwe citizens. That will be better energy for each and every one of us, wherever we are. We have access to social media. We can create any platform tomorrow and use it for good or for bad. My recommendation is, please use it for good. If you couldn't do what you're doing now 20 years ago, don't hide behind online to try to do some of these things. It's not helpful to you. It's not helpful to us Zimbabwean citizens. It's not good for your family. It's not good for anybody else. And thank you so much. I've enjoyed this conversation, Chief. I hope to have more of these discussions in the future. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Dr. Ranga. Thank you very much for your contributions and for all the work that you're doing in the struggle.
Thank you.
Forward, Advocate Masie, you are a human rights lawyer, and you understand even media law, what should be done, what should not be done. But of course, again, we do not want to dwell on that. I just want your final thoughts on what is going on in Zimbabwe. Not only to Fadzai Mahere, even to other leaders that we've mentioned, Tendai BT, VP Kore, that abuse. I think it's tantamount to abuse, that you just take a person's name, attach whatever unsubstantiated rubbish or unsubstantiated machinations or fabrications or even falsehoods, and then you throw it on social media. Isn't that a human right abuse?
Yeah, thank you, Chief. Yes, it is, and I would like to appreciate what Dr. Ranga said, that you know, in the societies that we live in, freedom of expression is paramount. And so he also mentioned that social media, Facebooks and Twitters are there to stay. So basically, people just need to act responsibly. You see, there needs to be a balance between information dissemination that is useful, to the public for scrutinizing leaders, and also just casting out information that basically denigrates oneself, and also that defames a person, especially when you're talking about women. We do have laws in Zimbabwe that a victim can, in Zimbabwe and anywhere else, that a victim can pursue. And also, probably following up on the issue of Father Emaere, you can also see that of late she wrote a letter, I think, to Edmund for him to retract his statements and probably offer an apology. Those are some of the means that a victim has in terms of the laws, where you can probably sue for defamation, and also get that person to apologize, and also to retract whatever malicious statement that they could have casted in the public arena. We also have certain laws that I will not probably go deeper into, that Zimbabwe has enacted of late, which are somehow controversial, because we know that this cyberbullying is more of a political weapon that is used to attack women in politics, and it's somehow mind-boggling and puzzling that if you look at the statistics in Zimbabwe, probably if you look at Southern Africa, Zimbabwe has somehow made progressive steps in getting women participation into politics. It has moved to a level since the enactment of the constitution, to a level that gets to the 33% women participation in politics. And you've also seen probably somehow an increased number of women in parliament. But now that is a progressive step that the government leaders need to inculcate and also nurture progressively, and encourage women to get to the 50-50 parity in parliament, or any participation of women in the society. But I don't think with such with such people going against with such acts such as the ones that we have been witnessing towards female politicians, we don't think 50%. I think 50% parity in parliament or in any political sphere in Zimbabwe can happen with such things happening. So it's quite sad that that is happening. But what I'm saying is we need to be more responsible when it comes to to dealing with certain issues that not really concern probably the public, like the issues regarding private life. And also, such issues do have consequences if you basically go against someone, and demean them in the manner that we've seen happening to Fadzi, because you can get sued, you can be accountable in courts. And also, when that happens, then people are losing sight of what's important. Because right now, what's important is getting everyone to participate in issues that develop the country. Right now, we've got issues that are haunting the public in Zimbabwe right now, which not only relate to the politics, the civil and political rights, but which go to the core of how our society is struggling to to get economic, social, and some of the basic rights to be observed. You see, right now we've got kids who are not going to school. We've got women who are failing to to get employment to feed their family, and so forth. Those such issues that should be driven by our access to social media. Issues that need to be debated in such spaces like the ones that we have right now. Social media, Twitter. Those are some of the issues that we need to to be concentrating on, rather than going after each other and attacking each other, especially denigrating women who are strong women who are capable of leading this country, who are capable of running institutions, who have a proven track record that they are capable leaders in our society. And we attack those women and lose sight on what is important, that basically benefits the whole country. So yeah, there are means in which one can pursue in terms of suing for for damages, and also asking the other person to retract or defame. But of course, as you know, once bad information is there, or once you've been tarnished your image, even if you go to any court, or even if you get any damages you want, the reputation has already been damaged. So there's basically no substitute to to getting your name tarnished than than people just staying away from it and focusing on the bigger picture.
Wow. Thank you very much, Advocate Masie, for coming in on that angle on human rights, as well as on the solutions on what a person would have been, abused on social media can do. Before I go to Barbara for a parting shot, let's hear from Dr. Gwekwerere, a specialist in mental health, to hear what she says about this cyberbullying. Estella, if you can play the audio.
Cyberbullying is a very bad habit, and it can destroy somebody's life, because lies can be spread about somebody, or opinions that are not true facts, and then it can affect somebody as far as employment is concerned, as far as their social life is concerned. Mudslinging and name calling unnecessarily on social media is not the best thing to do. And some people are jealous.
Estella, I don't know if it's on my side, but I think the volume is very, very low.
Your private life on social media, just
those who are listening, if you are hearing Dr. Gwekwerere's voice, please say something. Just write in the comment section.
If somebody sees me doing a great thing, especially as far as the struggle to liberate Zimbabwe is concerned, they can start saying bad things about me on social media to stop me or to make people disinterested in listening to what I'm saying. People's personal lives should not really be a media issue. Let it stay private. If you have issues with somebody, keep it private, or inbox them, face them. Putting it in social media is just because you're scared of them and you just want to frustrate them. This will not work in New Zimbabwe.
The feedback from comments, Champion Veronica says volume from Doc is very low. but Tin says we can hear. So would you like me to maybe replay from my phone instead? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, Estela.
Oh, I suppose Chief can't hear me.
Barbara, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you inform Chief?
Estela is saying, can she read again? Because some listeners are saying they were not, the volume was low, and yet some were saying the volume was okay.
Chief Wadona, maybe he went out to come back in.
You can replay it, Estela is fine. I don't think there's any problem.
Okay.
Cyberbullying is a cyberbullying is a very bad habit, and it can destroy somebody's life, because lies can be spread about somebody, or opinions that are not true facts, and then it can affect somebody as far as employment is concerned, as far as their social life is concerned. Mudslinging and name calling unnecessarily on social media is not the best thing to do. And some people are jealous. They will just start labeling you, saying things about your private life on social media, just because they don't like you, or just because you are excelling in whatever you're doing. If somebody sees me doing a great thing, especially as far as the struggle to liberate Zimbabwe is concerned, they can start saying bad things about me on social media to stop me, or to make people disinterested in listening to what I'm saying. People's personal lives should not really be a media issue. Let it stay private. If you have issues with somebody, keep it private, or inbox them, face them. Putting it in social media is just because you're scared of them, and you just want to frustrate them. This will not work in New Zimbabwe.
Well, that was the voice of Dr. Gwekwerere, a mental health specialist, commenting on the issue that we are discussing today, cyberbullying or cyber harassment or online bullying. Before I go to Advocate Masie for his last comments, Leader Barbara, your last words.
Okay, thank you so much, Chief Shoshe. I concur with what Dr. Gokwere was saying. Kuti, private issues will be private. If you have something private about me, why not come to my inbox, and top it inbox? Why would you want to tell the whole world that this is happening, and that will be private? So I think we just have to learn as Zimbabweans that this cyberbullying, it's not healthy. Cyberbullying, it destroys lives, like what Dr. Gokwere said. Iwewe unganzwa say, first of all, ask yourself, how would you feel yourself if the same thing will be done to you? If you only think of the other person, then we would not do like what is happening now. But I think the reason why ZANU PF is doing this, Chief, like I said, Guti, they have they're busy crafting laws on cyberbullying, and yet they are not practicing what they are saying, Guti, shiri wrong. And instead, their laws, they are there to silence the opposition. They are there to silence the people that are outspoken. Instead of them dealing with real issues, these laws are crafted to silence the voices of dissent. So it's I think when we get into power, we really have a lot of work to do to overturn some of these laws and align them with the constitution, because ivo kana vachicrafta these laws, they'll be crafting them looking at the opposition. You don't craft a law basing on an individual. You don't craft a law in a bid to silence the opposition. That's not law. So we really have to make sure that these laws are aligned with the constitution, the freedom of choice, freedom of association, freedom of assembly, the right to dignity, right to human life, right. There are so many rights that are enshrined in the constitutions that are being violated left, right, and center by the government that is there. That government that enacted these laws. They are busy, So we really need to make sure that these laws are aligned with the constitution, and we really need to raise awareness to other people to know that cyberbullying is wrong. It's a crime.
There I go again, speaking on mute. Thank you very much, Barbara, for those last comments. Advocate Masie, your last comments as we close. We are already 5 minutes over our time.
Yeah, thank you. Briefly, yes, Zimbabwe is signatory to many conventions that promote women leadership, and my contribution is that as leaders in societies, we need to start looking into those progressive rights, and appreciating that we can only move forward if we empower our women in our society and shun away from sexism, misogynism, and all those isms that put put women in positions where they cannot feel free to participate in politics. And also, I would like to encourage us as citizens that it should not basically be one person who gets cyberbullied that we talk about. We need to identify all these aspects of cyberbullying, especially when it comes to women in politics. We need to to identify this and criticize and talk about this behavior, because bullying one woman in politics is basically opening up a can of worms for many women who want to participate in politics, and even those who are basically there and feel safe are basically not safe. So for me, it's more about an universal approach to how we basically have to attack this, because this is a pandemic that we're facing, and going into elections, it might seem as just an issue where people use sexism to denigrate someone like a woman in politics, and basically it's just like getting the likes and so forth on Facebook. But you see that some of these things, they would probably generate into physical violence itself. Imagine Father Emaere, if she wanted to take a position in a certain constituency, and there's this hatred going on Facebook and social media and so forth. This is generally engineering the society to hate the person who who wants to who's a leader and a potential leader. So it might seem as if it's you're enjoying behind the keyboard and casting out all those bad things on about someone which are not supported by evidence and so forth, and this will generally generate into probably physical violence and so forth. So it's something that we need to basically look into into those effects and into behaving responsibly, especially when we have like social media in this day and age, when we have social media to disseminate information. Otherwise, if we continue doing this, one would not basically forward probably someone who then comes in and regulates and over regulates that industry, because it will be a situation where we basically are not behaving responsibly, and we overregulate that industry. But we know that in Zimbabwe, this is what ZANU-PF wants, to overregulate the industry, especially when it comes to social media, so that they can attack, the opposition when they speak against their leaders in a manner that, natures debate. So it should be a balanced approach. And my advice, or my advice as I conclude, is that please let's act responsibly, let's respect each other, and let's encourage our women who are in leadership to feel free to take up positions without facing the sexism or the societal misconceptions that women who are independent, strong, and single are put in a certain bracket. So this is my advice, as a human rights advocate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Advocate Masie. And I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has been with us here on Zimai, on Change Radio, and on the radio itself, and on our Facebook page. We appreciate you. And to all citizens, thank you so much for standing with our leadership, standing with VP Kore when she's cyberbullied, standing with Tendai Biti, Job Scala, Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbiri. The list is endless. Thank you for standing right now as we are speaking with our very own Iron Lady, Advocate Fadzai Mahere. And to Advocate Fadzai Mahere, we say, Famba, Famba, Fadzi, Famba, Usacheuke Murizo. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to defocus you. They're trying to derail you from the good work that you are doing. And surprisingly, when all this happens, the man who is involved in all this is not even tagged, is not even attacked. They attack the woman.
Yeah, that's what they do, Chief. Maybe there's this comment from Kunashe Muchemo, one of the CCC champions, who is saying a CCC government will protect women and all disadvantaged groups. There will be equal opportunities for all and absolute respect of human rights. That's correct, Comrade Kunashe. This is exactly what the CCC government is going to do. And Chief, having us in the CCC government, we are going to make sure that all these things do happen, because we cannot just watch like the ZANU-PF Women's League. These women are letting us down, Chief. They are really letting us down. Government, we are going to see that the women are protected, women are promoted to wherever they should be, and we know that there are women with capacity. And come 2023, we want to see more women as CCC taking those positions, because Advocate Nelson Chamisa said in his interview, where he was interviewed by Fadzi, he said that he is going to make sure that 50-50 gender equality is going to be observed, and we know this is going to happen. Unlike ZANU-PF kunongopinzwa vakadzi vashoma and then kozobvunzwa kuti vari kupi vakadzi vachona, that's an insult, Chief, to ask kuti where are the women, as if there are no women that is got a capacity. I just want to thank all the women on behalf of all the CCC women at large. We are saying to our leader, our champion Fadzi, we are together in this. Tiri pamwe chete, watindu mama, watindi mbogodo, hanzi wadena mudzimai, wadena dombo, zvakaoma kudaro, ndokubasa kwedu. We are going to stand by Fadzi, and we are not going to let these ZANU-PF people destroy our own Fadzi. She is a mbogodo, that one, Chief, and we are very proud of her, and no one can stop us from supporting her. They can do whatever they want, but Fadzi has got our back. We are so much proud of you and all other women in the CCC. We are going to stand by you. We stood by Joanna, Cecilia, and Netai. We stood by Maikore. We stood by every woman that was being bashed, and we are going to stand until we reach our goals as women. Thank you.
Wow. Chatoita imwe Beijing conference. Inenge Harare conference this time around. Thank you very much, folks, for being with us here. Please be aware that ZANU-PF propaganda is everywhere. It's prevalent on Twitter, on Facebook. So, know what you follow, know what to believe. This is ZANU-PF propaganda machine. It's West. But as we are seeing here, people are not swallowing it. People are not taking it at all. They know what is going on. They understand the mechanisms of ZANU-PF. And for that, citizens, I want to salute you. Let's continue to stand behind our leader, our leadership, women, men, everyone involved. Thank you. As we march towards 2023, thank you so much. We appreciate you. God bless you.
Itimaya takuzichinja todao kamgomani. Itimaya takuzichinja chingotunga bimbe. Itimaya takuzichinja todao kamgomani. Itimaya takuzichinja chingotunga bimbe. Sirma fights going good nezeki inga vanhu vakanga vatobvota wana vachida chamisatunga miri kushitsa nyika pari nani boni kuti nezeki karamba nazvino vanongochedzera hanzi chamisatunga miri asi zeki